Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you two. A year later, do you feel like you're
Next question.
The reporter didn't finish his question. He didn't need to. Angel Reese summed up the WNBA's current dynamic with Caitlin Clark in 2 words. And that dynamic just shifted. Clark's impact is clear. Millions of fans, sold-out arenas, record views. But the league fumbled the opportunity. Instead of embracing her, many pushed back, questioning the hype, downplaying her role, even mocking her fans. They saw Clark as a threat, not an asset. To outsiders, it made no sense.
But the WNBA last year, bless their hearts, finally got a star. And they didn't know that. They couldn't figure it out. Well, we don't want to put too much Caitlin Clark on. Nope, every game. More Caitlin Clark all the time, always. Caitlin Clark is easily the most influential athlete in a team sport since Michael Jordan.
The success, the headlines, the hype, the crowds. It was everything the WNBA had longed for. They finally had the player, the spotlight, the breakthrough. Real money and global attention were within reach. But the face of it all was Caitlin Clark. And for many players, that wasn't a win. It felt like a loss. Not because she succeeded, but because she did it alone. The dream was that they would lift the league together. The hardest truth? Fans do care about women's basketball. They just came for Caitlin.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Yes, Diana, there are. It's been like grief, denial, anger, all of it. And how it all connects. Wild. It's been sad, messy, and a bad look for the WNBA. But now there's a shift. A small moment changed everything. The league sees what's coming, and now they're scrambling to catch up. Let's break it down. But first, like the video if you're ready to see the WNBA cave to Caitlin, and don't forget to subscribe. Now let's rewind.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
By this time last season, Caitlin Clark was already dominating WNBA minds. She didn't just arrive, she exploded. Viewership tripled, NBA arenas sold out, jerseys flew off shelves. Fever games became must-see, with long lines and playoff-level ticket prices.
Now, if we say her stats are today, what?
20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5
crazy.
The jealousy started before Caitlin Clark even went pro. The hype was generational. She broke the all-time NCAA scoring record, led Iowa to back-to-back title games, sold out arenas, and hit logo threes with ease. Then came the WNBA draft. No surprises, just a coronation. She was the clear number one. One pick in the center of media, sponsors, and flashing cameras. But that's when things got weird. The league had seen stars, Aja Wilson, Kelsey Plum, Breanna Stewart, MVPs and champions. But none got this hype, and for some, that hurt. Enter stage 1 of grief, denial. It wasn't just doubt, it was resistance. Players, media, even execs tried to downplay the moment. The cracks showed before she ever stepped on court.
Caitlin's coming. There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
If Caitlin had flopped or even been average, the old guard would have had their "I told you so" easy narrative. College isn't the pros. You don't just walk in and dominate. The hype fades, media moves on, and the vets feel vindicated. But that's not what happened. Her debut drew 2.1 million viewers, the biggest in 20 years. Every game boosted ratings. National TV, packed arenas, sold out jerseys. She didn't just show up, she took over. And that's when it hit, stage 2, anger.
Voting last season. Clark, hammer. 3 Sky players coming over. Here's Clark for 29 points, gets tripped up.
Is good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
Once it was clear Caitlin's momentum wasn't slowing, no matter the eye rolls or critiques, the league shifted to damage control. On the court, players got physical, hard screens, off-ball hits, cheap shots. Refs stayed silent. It became a pattern. Let her get hit, frustrated, doubtful. If the hype wouldn't fade, they'd try to break her, and it showed. She was tired, bruised, drained, but she didn't break. She leveled up. Post-Olympic break, she returned stronger, playing MVP-level basketball, leading wins, breaking records, earning first-team All-Star. That's when Stage 3 hit. Bargaining. People tried to make sense of it, justifying the shift to protect what they'd lost.
It's just the structure of the way media plays out race. So last night, we read Time magazine where Caitlin Clark was named Athlete of the Year. Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover?
The one thing that I cannot deny is the amount of little girls that were showing up to follow her. Little girls with their parents and the fervor and the energy there.
Why her?
Same thing.
Why her?
Well, but she was a white girl from the middle of America.
They avoided attacking Caitlin directly. It would backfire. Instead, they targeted everything around her. The fans, the media. To them, Caitlin wasn't the problem. Everyone else was. She got special treatment. Her fans weren't real WNBA supporters. The narrative shifted. If you like Caitlin, it was because of her skin color. Forget she led the league in assists as a rookie or drew record crowds. None of that mattered. The story wasn't about her skill, it was about bias.
While Caitlin is fantastic and I think she's going to have an incredible career in the WNBA, there are women that were worthy of coverage prior to her arriving, and I just will not be silenced when it comes to that.
It's the classic propaganda move. Repeat the lie until no one questions it. Now, some actually doubt Caitlin's talent, calling her lucky instead. But if they thought this would quiet the Caitlin Clark effect, they were wrong. Veterans started joining Indiana Fever. Not just anyone, but champions like Dana Bonner, Natasha Howard, Sydney Coulson. They came for one reason, Caitlin Clark. Not long ago, media like Cheryl Swoops said no one wanted to go to Indiana. Diana Taurasi even mentioned those rumors. That story is dead. Indiana isn't just a stop, it's the destination. And with that, the floodgates open.
And for the first time in history, WNBA games will be played in the United Center. The Chicago Sky will host the Indiana Fever at the UC on Saturday, June 7th, and on Sunday, July 27th.
First came the arena upgrades. Games moved, not for playoffs or all-stars, but for Caitlin Clark. Smaller gyms gave way to NBA arenas because demand wasn't optional. More seats were needed when she played. Then the broadcast schedule. 41 of 44 Fever games nationally televised. Not just visibility, total saturation. Networks bet everything on Caitlin, giving her prime time nearly every night. Preseason games followed. One exhibition sold out a 15,000-seat arena. No standings, no playoffs, just Caitlin. Fans paid hundreds just to watch her warm up.
And the average reported ticket price was $650. Now, if you do the math here and you do 15,000 people times $650, that is almost $9.75 million just for a WNBA preseason game.
By then, the Caitlin Clark effect couldn't be ignored. It wasn't hype or spin. It was real math, money, and momentum. For many players, the reality was clear. Their teams weren't the focus. Caitlin was. Promotions spiked only when she played. Ticket sales soared with her visits. Broadcasters, sponsors, and fans all knew it. Amid sold-out arenas and marketing pushes, acceptance grew. And with it, players began to speak out.
Yes, have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlin Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television games? I think we have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat. And as we all get more opportunities, it just opens it up for everyone else.
Caitlin Clark a problem, bro.
Yeah, see that.
I just think about my rookie year and I think about how I came into the league and I'm like, bro, it was such a crazy transition for me to just understand what it's like to play at the pro level. And it's like this girl coming in as a rookie and going she broke the record for assists. I don't think people really understand how crazy that is to do as a rookie, your first year doing this. But That's another
Shout out to
episode.
Caitlin.
Shout out to Caitlin, bro.
The plays that she was making still, despite all that, was like insane. But like people were so caught up in the logo threes and the highs, the 20 3-point attempts per game, which absolutely I understand that. Like it was so much fun to watch. But I always said she could potentially be one of the best point guards to ever play in the WNBA.
Has the coverage been perfect? Numbers snubs, double standards, and critics remain. But the tone is changing. Media that once doubted her now highlight her leadership, work ethic, and impact. Skeptical players are beginning to give real credit, not just that she's good, but that she's changing the game. That leads us to the moment that sealed it, Caitlin Clark's homecoming.
The fans filed outside in droves, getting ready at Carver Hawkeye Arena, and watch parties all around Iowa City. Everybody wants to catch a glimpse of Iowa's favorite daughter, Caitlin Clark, returning home.
Over 1.3 million watched that exhibition game on TV. It wasn't just the packed arena or turnout, it was the context. That number topped WNBA preseason and outdrew other pro leagues. But more than viewers, it was what Caitlin did knowing they were watching. She didn't shy away, she thrived, fully aware of what fans came for.
Possessions of the day for Brazil. Here's Clark. Wow! You bet! From beyond the logo!
With all eyes on her, Caitlin ran up court and hit a three from the exact spot she broke the NCAA scoring record. It wasn't just a shot, it was a statement. The fans went wild. This wasn't just basketball anymore. It was entertainment, storytelling, theater. A perfect full circle moment. Caitlin knew exactly where she was and how to create a memory the audience would never forget.
I think one of the things I love about Caitlin the most is her understanding and like willingness to like meet the moment and like do the thing that she knows everyone wants her to do.
She knows what the people.
She broke the record making that shot to begin with. There's just like a certain star quality and like star power there. But it takes you being confident enough, willing enough to be like, oh no. I know what you want. Come here. I'm gonna give it to you. I loved it so much. I just think it's great. I love when athletes like have that like bring the cameras right over here.
Well,
it's so fun.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. She knows it.
And speaking of giving fans what they want, the Brazilian national team couldn't resist. After the exhibition, they didn't just shake hands and leave. They surrounded Caitlin, smiling, laughing, snapping selfies like they'd met Michael Jordan. Because to them, that's exactly who she was.
Yeah, it is clear that she is having her freaking Michael Jordan moment right now.
This was the moment. Sold out crowd, 1.3 million viewers, opponents swarming her for autographs after the buzzer. In a world of sound bites and snapshots, perception often beats proof. Everyone knew the numbers, the broadcasts, arena upgrades, merch sales, media buzz. But this moment was different. This was when the illusion broke. The illusion that it was about anyone else.
Well, 1.3 million people watched it on ESPN. 1.3 million people. Let me put that in perspective, just between us. No NBA preseason game has had that audience in the last 7 years. Only 2 preseason games in the NBA have had that audience in the last 15 years. More people watched this preseason game than game 1 of last year's WNBA Finals. No MLB spring training game has ever come close. The most is when 912,000 people watched the Yankees-Phillies, and that was 20 years ago. 1.3 million people watched Caitlin Clark.
And just like that, the game changed.
The favorite to win MVP, should she be?
Yeah, I think so. When you talk about Caitlin Clark, she averaged 19 points, 8 assists. I love that you're counting for me. I need you to count out loud.
19 points, 8 assists last season, but had an even better finish to the season after the All-Star break, after the Olympic break. She lit it up. What did she average? 12 assists during that time? She now has more pieces around her, more teammates she can get the ball to, and she had a full off season.
It is a balance, but she's a generational talent. No league's ever about one player, but in this case, Caitlin brought tens of millions of new viewers into the W, and there's no denying that impact. Not just in the WNBA, but the world of sports. Adam and I talk all the time about who's the most popular athlete in America, you know.
Players, media, and analysts suddenly became much more pro Caitlin Clark than weeks before. Why? Because after the preseason sellouts, soaring ratings, and the pull she had on every arena, it was no longer up for debate.
Like this season, people are trying to get on the right side of history after kind of being weird the first year. So I can see, like, the narrative is already kind of, they're waiting for her to produce so that they can say, like, they were right.
They can start the offseason once it all clicks. Caitlin Clark wasn't just riding fame, she was outworking everyone. While most eased into offseason, Caitlin jetted between big appearances, speeches, NFL owner meetings, the Masters, then still showed up at the gym by 8 a.m. every day. No excuses, no skips, no burnout. Not just discipline, legendary, straight from the Kobe Bryant playbook.
Whatever you want to call Mamba mentality, whatever you define as Mamba mentality, there's no question about it that Caitlin Clark has it.
Caitlin Clark is bigger, stronger, and ready to dominate. Her body suits the pro grind, her decision-making is sharper, and her confidence has grown. She's no longer just adjusting to the WNBA, she's set to take it over. Haters either try to praise her early or stay silent, grieving not being the star. That's the core of it. Some show frustration, others go quiet, while a few, like Sophie Cunningham, embraced it from the start. The moment has come. The proof is everywhere. That Iowa preseason game wasn't hype. It was the rebirth of the Caitlin Clark effect. And this time, it's bigger than ever. If you're still here, drop a trophy in the comments for making it this far. Thanks for watching.